Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend, and I hope you were able to stay dry because Lord knows that we got a lot of rain. But I want to welcome you all to Sing. Shonda Inspires Nations to Grow, and you will often hear me reference my family as my VSPs, Vibrational Singing People. And if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe and click the bell so that you can stay connected with me and so that your life will be improved for the better. Well, listen, guys, how many of you all saw the royal wedding this weekend? Okay, I was sitting over there crying. I'm like, oh, this is so wonderful, so beautiful, like a fairy tale. I got some ideas for my wedding, but not royal though, on a regular person's budget. Amen. Amen. Well, listen, guys, I wanted to tap on into everything. Of course, I'm always excited that you all tune in, tap in, and turn it on with me because I know that it's a very busy time and it takes an effort. So thank you so much for being so faithful. But I wanted to tap on in today, and I want to talk about contrast. The power of contrast when you're manifesting. Contrast is necessary for expansion in our lives, for growth in our lives. And so I want to start off by talking about contrast. And then I also want to discuss several forms of contrast. I also want to talk about what it does for us. And I also want to talk about what people don't like about it. And of course, we will end today with affirmations and also some quotes of today. But when I think about contrast, I read this quote from Carl Jung, and it says, the greater the contrast, the greater the potential. Great energy only comes from a corresponding great tension of opposites. So that was something to really, really think about. So when we think about contrast, contrast is the state of being strikingly different from something else. It's typically something juxtaposition or close association. It's like a difference, a dissimilarity, contradiction, variance, variation, opposition, to compare in order to show unlikeness or differences. That's what a contrast is. It's like the opposite. It's a difference. It's something that is close to you, but it's an opposite. A variation. And then when we think about expansion, the first thing that comes to my mind is like growth, but it's the action of becoming larger or more extensive. It's also known as the process of becoming greater in size, number, or amount. A thing formed by the enlargement. It's broadening or developing something. Elaboration, enlargement, amplification, development. So when we think about contrast, when it comes to our lives, it's like a difference. It's something that shows up that we're not happy about because we wanted something else to manifest in our lives, but we got something different. And so when I think about that, the first form of contrast I think about is like through life trials and tribulations. And so that led me over to Romans 5:3, where it says, moreover, let us also be full of joy now. Let us exalt and triumph in our troubles and rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that pressure and affliction and hardship produce patience and unswerving endurance. And in verse 4, an endurance or fortitude that develops maturity of character. And then it says approved faith and tried integrity. And character of this sort produces the habit of joyful and confident hope of eternal salvation. So again, a form of contrast could be a trial or a tribulation. So it comes in our life in a form to refine us, to make us better, to give us good character, to give us integrity. It's always like an expansion that's going on. Another form of contrast you will experience through the law of attraction. You know, you may say that you want a car, but if you're not detailed and specific, you may get a car, but it may not be the one that you wanted. So it's the contrast is there to allow you the opportunity to be more detailed and more specific about what you do want. Because if you don't get what you don't want, you don't know what you do want to receive in the physical realm of our life. So, of course, you know, the law of attraction is a magnetic power of God, the universe source creator, that draws similar energies together. So, you know, if you're getting something other than what you want, then you have to take a look at, like I said, your spirit, because you will get a contrast. And then another form of contrast that we get or we experience, it may be through relationships or through friendships, people we meet, we cross paths with. If something doesn't work out in a friendship, in a relationship, it's the whole purpose of it. The contrast, it shows up to develop you even more, to teach you. Now, I really feel that when you cross paths in life with people, it's a teachable moment, whether it worked out or it did not work out. It's supposed to enrich your life. It's supposed to cause expansion for you to be better. So even in friendships or in relationships, even in marriages, of course, that's a covenant there. But even if it's something with your spouse that you may not like, you know, that's showing out, first of all, because of your thoughts. But second of all, the contrast is to help you expand and to help your spouse expand so that God can get the glory out of the situation. Difficulties show up in manifestations sometimes. You know, whatever's in your vibrational thoughts, in your spirit, we attract that in. We could be saying that, you know, I love myself, but if your undertone is like, I really think I'm not attractive, I'm really not happy, you know, I wish I had more money, nothing ever works out for me, then your manifestations will show a contrast. You'll start having people in your life that don't value you. You'll constantly have situations pop up that takes all of your money, because it is your thoughts, your habitual thoughts, that will produce the contrast. But the good thing about the contrast is to teach you and to make you sharper for your mission at hand, to make you a better person, spiritually, developmental wise, and your expansion. Through meditation, we've learned that we began to create new neurons in our brains to take us on another whole experience of creation and life with God. So that's absolutely fantastic, because your manifestations are your results or your outcomes in the physical realm that you think about. So if contrast shows up in a manifestation, don't get upset. The contrast is there to help you be more clear about what you do want. So if it's a job, sometimes contrast will show up in your employment. You may get a job that you thought that you absolutely loved, and you got there and it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, or you've outgrown the job. That is okay. The purpose is to have that contrast, to know exactly what you do want, to help you develop, to help you be better. So that contrast shows up to show you like a reflection so that you can improve, and so expansion can occur in your life. Contrast is a gift, a blessing straight up in disguise, and I absolutely love that. And then I also wanted to talk about, you know, with the law of attraction or manifestation, it manifests through the power of creation. So everywhere and in many ways you experience this creation. And the law of attraction, of course, is your thoughts. It comes through people, situations, and circumstances. And so this contrast, whenever you attract something, you will have a contrast from time to time, and that's to help you tune up and to be better at what you're praying for, what you're meditating about, what you're asking about. Maybe it's something there inside of you that needs to be developed even more. So that's going to help you expand your thoughts, expand your character, expand integrity. You want to be a person of good character. You want to be a person that has such a anointing on their life. You want to be a person that attracts good to you. That's awesome. It had to be some contrast to show up for you to have that desire. So that's absolutely fantastic. And the purpose of contrast, again, is for expansion, to evolve, to be better, to clarify exactly what you want out of your life, and to refine you. That's the purpose of the contrast. And the most common reactions to contrast is just frustration, heartache, pain. People don't like it, but without the contrast, there would be no growth. Without the pain, there would be no gain. So it's absolutely necessary. Some people, when they experience contrast, when they're manifesting, or spiritual people, they look at it as something big is going to happen, because it is. And so they express on the opposite end gratitude, and they rejoice because of this, because they realize that without contrast, they wouldn't be where they are today. They wouldn't have the character that they have today. They wouldn't have the confidence that they have today. They wouldn't have the spirit that they have today, and they wouldn't have succeeded and attracted so many excellent things in their lives without the repetition, and of course without contrast from time to time. It's learning. It develops us, and it makes us better. All right, so I want to go ahead and go into our affirmations for today. Affirmations. I'm appreciative for the contrast that I've experienced in my life. I am so appreciative for the contrast that I've experienced in my life. And by experiencing that, it further confirms that everything, and I do mean absolutely everything, is always working out for me. Contrast helped me to expand my thoughts, my desires, my mind, and use my emotions as indicators to use them correctly. The differences or the difficulties in my life help me to clarify exactly what I want. The opposites attract for clarity. Without darkness, the world wouldn't have morning. Without darkness, there would be no morning. I'm stronger, better, more patient, appreciative, grateful, joyful, and I know exactly what I want because of contrast in my life. Because of contrast in my life. I'm so grateful. And so I want to go ahead and I want to end with a quote for today. And the quote says, "There are dark shadows on the earth, but its lights are stronger in the contrast." Charles Dickens. There are dark shadows on the earth, but its lights are stronger in the contrast. So as you begin your week, singers, this week, please understand that there would be no light without darkness. There would be no redeemer without sin. There would be no gains without pain. And so the contrast is necessary to develop you, to refine you, to encourage you, and to make you an extension of your Creator. Expansion is necessary for you to further evolve into the person that God has created you to be. So thank God for the contrast. God bless you guys. And I want you to have a great day. And I'm on my way to this school for field day. So take care. And I'll see you in 2. Bye now.